What's your scariest camping experience? Went camping in deep Appalachia in a tent. Woke up to a weird feeling that I was laying on something. Then I felt it move. A snake had made its way under my tent and I think it was trying to get warm as it stopped moving right under where my back was. After me moving a bit, it finally went on its merry way. I'll never forget how it felt moving underneath me. Long homie just wanted to cuddle. 10 years ago I went camping for a weekend. Went out hiking the morning of the second day and pretty soon found ourselves off trail on a pretty steep incline along the Monashi River. We were about 100 feet up the incline. Suddenly one of my friends lost his footing and started to slide. On the way down he took out my other friend and I watched them hit every rock and tree on the way down to the rapids. I climbed down to find my one friend dead on the side of the river, and the other taken away by the river. His body was found 2 weeks later 2 kilometers from where they fell in. His body, or whatever is left of it, is still in the river because when search and rescue tried to remove it from the log jam it was stuck in, the boulders on the riverbank came loose and collapsed on top of his corpse. This was a very abbreviated version of the story, but overall a very scary day. Wait, so you were the sole survivor? I am so sorry. Of the hiking? Yes, of the trip. No, the girlfriend of my friend, whose body's location was known, was camping with us. She felt ill that morning, so didn't come hiking. She wanted to be brought back to his body before search and rescue got there. Thought our tent was being attacked by 3 bears. Turns out someone's dogs just got loose and the light outside made them look gigantic. Similar thing happened to me. We hear sounds of things getting torn apart, digging, crunching, etc. Huge shadow across the tent. Sounds of another animal ripping something apart in the opposite direction. We cautiously opened the tent windows to reveal squirrels. They were digging around in our firewood and tearing apart our paper kindling. Sheer terror when I was a kid at Boy Scout summer camp. One kid left a couple airheads out on the picnic table. Everyone woke up in the middle of the night too. No joke, 30+ raccoons fighting over airheads and going into tents looking for more food. If you've never heard that many hissing and growling raccoons at the same time, good for you. Pretty sure 2 guys were going to rape my friend and me. We were teenagers, 16 and 18, and went up alone. We made dinner and were having a good time in the evening when some guy passed by our site in the river. He had a fishing pole, so we were like whatever. He asked to go through our site to the road and we figured it was harmless enough and said yeah. He stopped and looked around our site and started asking us questions. How old are you? Where are you from? How long are you staying? Typical questions that were none of his business, but we were naive enough to answer. He eventually leaves and heads down the canyon on the road. A couple hours later, he shows back up with a buddy. Both of these guys are middle-aged, probably mid-40s. They start asking more questions. The original guy walks around and snoops about our campsite. We got an uneasy feeling and were super grateful when they eventually left, but they went up the canyon, rather than back where they came from. Another couple hours pass and it's dark. My friend mentions how she can't hear anything because of the river and it had her a bit antsy. We talked and it turned out we had both been on edge since the guys left. We had never seen them go back down the canyon. We both had a gut feeling that we needed to leave and fast. Maybe nothing would have happened, but we both felt it. They guys asked all the right questions to know that we would be there alone and defenseless that night. It really sucks that other people are the scariest part about camping. Late at night camping in the desert. Heard footsteps all around our tents. Thought it was maybe some drunk guy from one of the nearby camps who was riding dirt bikes and stuff all day. Couldn't see anyone. Couldn't see any shadows. Kept hearing the footsteps, literally inches from our tent. Woke up my friend silently and made him listen too. We were freaking out. Finally they went away, so I slowly opened my tent zipper to look around and see what it was. Threw out a glow stick and saw some eyes flash in the darkness. Turns out it was 2 white desert foxes, whose footsteps were somehow extremely heavy sounding. When I saw them, they were on our camp table, eating all of our chocolate. Oops. All of your chocolate? F that. This is the true horror right here. Once in the wilderness, me and a couple of other guys, drunk as we were, started howling at the moon only to inadvertently attract real wolves. They showed up at our campsite about 1.5 hours later when we were in our hammocks getting ready to sleep. No harm done. They sniffed around for a couple of minutes and then went off. Guess they were disappointed in what they found and luckily not desperately hungry. Anyways, I was very scared and tried to remain completely still and silent during this brief encounter. Single human versus group of wolves won't go well. Group of humans versus group of wolves. Wolves will almost certainly take off. When I was 5ish I slept, walked out my tent and off a small cliff in NC into a lake, woke up down there, then screamed until my parents found me. This is the stuff of parental nightmares. First time camping. Was with wife and dog in a tent that the upper half was mesh and see-through. Woke up around sunrise to my dog growling at something. I leaned forward to check. There's a bear cub walking through our campsite. The scary part was that I didn't want my dog growling to attract the mother of the cub to defend it, so I pinned my dog on the bed and held his mouth to get him to be quiet till the bear left. Heart was beating out of my chest. Later I found out it was an orphan bear and it was friendly to humans and survived by stealing food from garbage campsites. Camping with my kids in the woods for the first time. They were very nervous, but I assured them that nothing was out there to be afraid. Immediately after one of my assurances, we heard something moving outside of the tent. They started crying a bit, and I said it was either the wind or maybe a raccoon a little bit away. At that moment, something came down on the top of the tent, something pushing in at 4 spots. They lost their minds with terror. Even I screamed. It was our cat. My wife had let him outside, and he made his way down in the woods to see us. He was young and had never seen a tent before and jumped on top of it right above us. This was a few years ago, and my kids still bring up how scary it was and how daddy screamed. Foxes. Fucking foxes, man. Late at night when they howl sounds like a person screaming bloody murder. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Reddit videos.